So moving on from area, let's look at volume. Now, again, with volume, I'm going to keep to metric units. So we'll keep with centimetres and metres. Okay, but it can easily be upgraded to kilometres or to look at imperial units as well. But let's just keep to centimetres and metres because they're the most likely units that you're going to be working with for volumes. So in the previous video, I talked about the difference between square metres and metres squared. And that carries through here as well. So when we talk about, let's say, 8 m with a 3, okay, like this, then we refer to this as 8 cube meters. Okay, so 8 cube meters. So essentially we're talking about 8 cubes of 1 meter by 1 meter. Okay, so you can think of this, if you like, as a cube itself which has been divided, let's try this out, up into 8 cubes. Okay, so this would be 8 cube meters, where you've got 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter. Okay, as opposed to 8 meters cubed, where if we said 8 meters cubed, then this would be this. Okay, what's 8 cubed? Not one that I kind of remember. 512. So this would be 512 cubic meters, which is obviously a much larger volume than just 8 cube meters. Okay, so that is definitely something to be mindful of, but it's just a language thing. Okay, so it's just making sure you're clear on that. Probably outside the GCSE maths exam, I can't imagine that you would ever go get tested on whether we're talking about 8 cube meters or 8 meters cubed, because you would just see the value like this. Okay, and it's just how you read that. Okay, so don't worry about this really too much. But it's just an English language thing, really. Now, converting between the two. So let's say I have a cuboid. Here's my cuboid. And well, it's not perfect, but there you are. Let's say, I think that's just a little bit too long, isn't it? Something maybe more like that. Yeah, that's a bit better. Okay, so let's say that my cuboid has a height of, let's say 30 centimetres. It's got a length of 80 centimetres, and it's got a width of 20 centimetres. Okay, now if we kept our units in centimetres, then we can work out the volume by multiplying the 3 dimensions together. Okay, so we'd have 3 times 8, which is 24, times by 2, which is 48. So 48 and 3 zeros. So 48,000 cubic centimetres. Okay? But of course, we could have measured those lengths in metres. So that would be 0.3 metres times by 0.8 metres times by 0.2 metres. Okay? Now, we would get our 48, but it would be 0.048 cubic metres. Let's just double check that. 0.3 times 0.8 times 0.2. Yes, okay, so that's what it would be in cubic metres. And of course, you might be going, well, centimetres to metres, surely I just need to divide by 100. But that's not quite right, is it? Because dividing by 100 would get you to 480. If you divide by another 100, you're going to get to 4.8. And if you divide by another 100, then you're going to get to 0.048. So in actual fact, to get from 48,000 to 0.048, I need to divide by 100, then by 100, then by 100. So dividing by 100 cubed. Okay, and likewise, to get from cubic metres to cubic centimetres, I would need to multiply by 100 cubed, because 100 in each of the dimensions. So if you have, let's say, a volume of 756, let's say, let's have that, 7,560,000 cubic centimetres. What is this as cubic metres? Well, I need to divide the 756,000 by 100 cubed. And that gets me 7.56 cubic metres. And so these are the same volumes, but just in different units.